closed, many more is open. To the right, Panta just so we rasta no need no token. One door is closed, many more. And it's not judge our love, we heart will never be broken. One door is closed, many more is open. To the right, Panta just so we rasta no need no token. One door is closed, many more. And it's not judge our love. One bread and five fish now picking up the box. My girlfriend left me through me never have. No dollar in a song. This time now, literally up the get this move. How they ring when they drop the box. This day one touch them, this is the truck. They pray to the Father non-stop. Don't be keep the healing fuck. Don't be keep the healing fuck. One door is closed, many more is open. To the right, Panta just so we rasta no need no token. One door is closed, many more. And it's not judge our love, we heart will never be broken. One door is closed, many more is open. To the right, Panta just so we rasta no need no token. One door is closed, many more. And it's not judge our love, we gonna be no token. Stop writing like we just can't be seen. Receive it up, take my woman. Give me some, what we burning. Then look this gun. Heroes, lead me the life. Despite the effort of people, we have the reached out of people. One door is closed, many more is open. To the right, Panta just so we must not need no token. One door is closed, many more. And it's not judge our love, we heart will never be broken. One door is closed, many more is open. To the right, Panta just so we must not need no token. One door is closed, many more. And it's not judge our love. Make one bread and five fish now picking up the box. My girlfriend left me through me. I see your G, Mike. They come.
We're good. No, take your time.
You might.
Take your time. Take
All
your
right.
time.
Yeah, we're good.
All right.
The last anyway. We have to tell you. Oh, I forget him. I need Kenny email for send on the song.
Kenny.
Listen, you hear me?
Kenny who? Kenny Gladden?
Kenny Gladden. Wait. The DJ.
Kenny Gladden.
The DJ.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kenny Gladden.
Yeah.
I have to check if you got email. I'll check later and send it for you. If not, I'll get it for now. All right?
I think that my life you can take off my life.
All right.
Yeah, take off my life.
You see me now?
All right. Yeah, we're good.
Right.
Yeah, we're gonna clear.
Yeah, man.
And my life may come through there just now.
I see
But everything set.
I see Gregory sent I know what I think he's saying 15 minutes later or something like that, no?
Yeah. Enter in 15 minutes. Yeah, and I don't get anybody the rest of the thing. So, but I mean, you could take the opportunity right now to talk about the upcoming event.
All right, so we're live already then.
Yeah, man, we live, man.
All right, hold on. Let me mute this. I think my
Take your time.
All right, apologies. I had my TV on. I was listening to the news, trying to get up on current events.
What the news you say? What the news you say?
Boy, not much on Chester catching accident. And Judge Mivey said they should.
Oh man, I'm
They
sorry
should,
to hear
they
that.
should charge him, give him a notice of intended prosecution, and test him for sobriety. So
Yeah.
apart from that, yeah. Everything. Hi, George.
Yes, good night, gentlemen.
Settling. All right, cool.
Why you in the office tonight? You in the office?
Did it work late, man?
Yes, just come out of one session there. See why we do the Constitutional Reform Commission, boy. So I just come from meeting.
Why, so you're gonna report for it?
Oh man, that's a big.
Yes.
Yeah, a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. We get it for.
Good. Yes, I.
Report.
We got inside source, my boy.
Mr. Brackett, boy.
Yes,
I know Mr. Brackett from blood.
Why? We got mole on it. We got mole on the inside. You hear me, see why?
No man.
We got mole on the inside.
We got mole on the inside.
No boy. I hope. Yeah, all right.
I tell you, man, you could just look at do.
Anyway, folks, we're back as we are every Wednesday evening, usually around 7 p.m. Myself and so far, Brother George Mivett. He's a provocateur extraordinaire, but we get along. George, you watch World Cup too, or just alone meetings?
Yes, man. You also made the post up thing that France won't beat, you know?
Why?
My two prediction gone through France and Argentina.
But that wasn't hard. I mean, I don't like you, me pick no. That was obvious. I mean, that Paradas they said good while. But I would have wanted to see Morocco pull on upset. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, but
it didn't. Argentina is not my favorite. Ever since I did research on their history and the way they work over there, I cannot support Argentina in anything.
What kind of history, sir?
Very racist country. You know how many black people they had and now how it dwindled down to almost nothing, that they actually ostracized and persecuted. It's a sad state, man. They're also a state made up of a lot of ex-Nazis. You knew that, right? So that and there's a sad history there. So
it's no fiction, G Mike. In my travels, I went to Uruguay.
Okay.
I think the way it goes, it's Brazil. As you go further south, it's Brazil, Paraguay, Uruguay, Argentina, and in Uruguay, which borders Argentina, I think the Rio de la Plata separates them. I was shocked that the last indigenous Indian, quote unquote, died in 1836. G Mike.
Way back yonder, then, way.
Yes, I was shocked. There's no Amerindian looking people there, and then Argentina, it's worse. Nazis, they really had a field day. What they call a Southern Cone, no? Argentina, Chile, Uruguay.
Right.
The Nazis there in a big way. Big way, man. It's no fiction.
Yeah, and there's no remorse on their part. They just figure that they deserve to do what they want to do. I don't know.
Zero.
That a sad state of affairs, and the world we they look upon anti-Semitism and whatnot. They cry about. But as soon as they say something that might be remotely out of favor with the Jews, then you get ostracized and you get criticized, and I mean, but look at all the atrocities that have happened, man, down to many people, and are still happening in many areas, you know. So I think we have to be fair. If we
Yeah.
really want better in this world, it has to be across the board, Judge.
Well, G Mike and CY is in with us. G Mike, I the a man where as a man with a kind of scientific brain, I have to ask the hard questions. And so there's this documentary that Hitler did not die the way it has been scripted.
Right.
And you go up on YouTube and you hit it up, and you will see that they are very, very credible information that Hitler ended up in Argentina. I want you to hit it up. I want you to hit it up because
listen,
it's more than one documentary.
They have
him and Eva Braun. That's where they ended up.
They have fabricated many bigger lies than that. I'll tell you that. I would not doubt it, because I don't think they ever came up with a body. And I think they said he had committed suicide. Was that it? Something like that?
Essentially, when the Nazis were closing in, he basically gave Eva Braun some pills, and I think he shot himself, and then his adjutant, his manservant, basically took him out and kind of burned them, but they were not completely burned. The Russians ended up with the quote-unquote remains. When the Russians did genetic analysis, that was not Hitler.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, it's
why that one kind of worms that it touch. At this point, listen, there's nothing we can't prove it nor disprove it. But again, it shows that we can't believe everything that we're told all the time. You know this, man. Anyway, listen. Nevertheless, the games, the stage is set for the biggest sporting event of the decade.
Were you ever a footballer yourself, G Mike?
No, I played basketball. I like watching the sport at that level.
Yeah.
As far as and even in the park now where the guys are playing and whatnot. But as far as to get out there and play football, no, I was not.
Why that are my better sport, G Mike?
Well,
I multi talented when it comes to sport, but by the one we are gifted with the football. When I got in Jamaica, the UWI, I had the only Belize man when play upon the Hall team.
What position?
I played right wing.
Okay.
But when I came back to Belize, I played an over 30. We came in second kind of interdepartment, and I played defense. But a lot of people don't see me play there. So, boy, I don't know what about football. You know what happened in the village, G Mike? There's not much going on except football.
And baby making. So
well, don't talk about that one.
You never want too much of that. Too much known anyway about that. But yeah man. It's unfortunate. I'm happy that we still have kids playing sports today, but I think we need to find an avenue for them to go further. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I like what you do there, G Mike, because it seems to me that the bottleneck is not with the young talent. I think that we are fairly, I wouldn't say necessarily competitive, but mentionable up to age 15 with football in I would call it the sub-Central American grouping of Costa Rica, Belize, Nicaragua, Honduras. But at the point that the football gets serious at what I would call a senior level, we fall through the cracks. So I like what you're doing back there, because raw talent, they get developed right back there.
Why, I think, and I'm hoping that somebody will come out of this park and do well. One, two, three, four of them if possible. But we're doing one thing this Sunday right now. In fact, we're right after the World Cup, and I'm trying to arrange the way to get it to use my projector and my screen in the back, and,
Mm-hmm.
and show the World Cup so the kids can look at that. And
Right, that
after
would be
that,
great.
yeah, man. After that, we go straight into our football session. I got only 5-year-old crew where they come up, and I think that age you have to grab them and put them in, they got a love of the sport, which I
Mm-hmm.
admire, no. So
Mm-hmm.
we're going to do that, and then we're doing under 17. We're doing a female football game, by the way, also
Oh, great,
because we're into
great,
promoting that. And
great
then
stuff.
we have an under 17 and one over 17. So
Okay.
maybe we could do an over 60 for you if you got.
Why? If you
Eh,
are if you are
alright.
surprised on Bengue,
Yeah, yeah.
going
Boy,
on.
look, I see a few of them guys, the older guys, they limp off of the field every evening. But I tell you, the field is well lit up,
All
and
right.
in fact, you're proud if you pass at night because we
Ah,
have lit up the trees in the back of the park. So
wow,
the kids
why
go
that
up
should be
there to the
great.
stringing lights and whatnot. Man, they're gorgeous.
Why
And
that should be great, G man.
now that I see it at night, I know where we need more lights and whatnot. So we're gonna try to put some more. I want to thank Simon Kwan. Can you give me a sizable discount? You
All
know,
right,
we're gonna try to have it looking good and lit up for
right,
Sunday and on
all right,
through Christmas, by the way.
all
So
right.
so the
Why that
kids can
sounds good.
enjoy the park a little later. Yeah, man.
That
Um,
sounds good, man.
BEL again is giving us some current from the 15th to about the 6th of January. So then come in and set up one temporary for us, and we're able to use the light from there to current to light up the park, so that no fall all on me.
All right, man.
Uh,
That's excellent, G Mike.
it's coming along. It's coming
So
along. Uh,
lead
um,
by good example.
why? And people are coming forward, man. We're getting help by this lady, Melita Finstein.
Mm-hmm.
Actually surprised me, man, and he say, "G Mike, send me your account, no? And we have the foundation, of course, have a bank account." And he said,
Yes.
"Send me the bank account, and I'm put at least something in there for you." And I figured out the usual $50, $100. You know that they give me
No,
a
no,
grand,
no.
give me a
Let's see.
thousand
Let's.
dollars, boy. Yeah,
Yes, yes,
yeah,
G
yeah.
Mike. As you know, I the official pan the bodybuilding federation. By
Mm-hmm.
this year we had the bodybuilding show almost about 2 weeks ago,
Uh-huh.
Saturday. Normally we have to deal with the chase sponsorship, but in the end days, when everybody after the same thing and the business then gets swamped, the
They
people
do,
they
they do,
solicit donation.
they do, they
And
do.
by Finstein come by and Finstein sponsor the whole thing.
Boy, isn't that nice?
Why man, we were blessed.
Well,
First thing
yeah,
happened.
yeah. This young lady, I know she's related. I might be one of the sister. You know her, but I think she's with Fort Street area there. But why
Mm,
that really pulled us because I was able to put up the fence behind the goal post. So
right.
we worked on that all day today, and we have that up. So I still want a nets. In fact, just
Yes, yes. Why I mean hope
I,
you know I mean hope you not mention nothing about nets.
why and I went to fisheries myself because I say, make I see if I could help you in any way. But Judge, have you ever been to a government office and those in charge were not in a meeting? Why we
Oh
should be
no, 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 no. You know what happens, G Mike?
why
You
we
have to
should
call ahead.
why
You
we
need a
must
3
be
week.
very efficient though. We have to be efficient of everything because we have nothing but meetings, man. But you know what
Yeah,
the Chinese said, if you if you go in a meeting and you spend more than 15 minutes, when you come out, you have to go right back in because things have changed so much in that
yeah,
time when you were spending there. So,
yeah.
I'm not a big fan of meetings. And sometimes I just will sit down around the shoot the breeze, no? But
Right.
you never know. I mean, I have to plan also. So,
Yeah.
I know I started reel up yet.
Why I was hesitant about fisheries, G Mike, is that those things are on inventory.
Yes, but
And
George, George,
so I
George.
know a 1 day exercise. You
I
understand what I'm
know,
saying?
but you know what? Listen to me. Here's the whole rationale behind it. The nets were doing bad, so they had to take them out of circulation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we are here doing something good. We don't want fishing in the drain with their net.
Mm-hmm.
you instead of being used for good bad thing, you're being using for a good thing. You must
Mhm.
cut through some of the red tape, man, and look on that and say, boy, son, this something that happened here. Make we look. Somebody has to be able to make that decision, George.
Yeah, yeah. Well, actually, the source that I was going through that promised to call me back, basically what we are looking at, that's on Nets G Mike, like how gillnetting is now outlawed.
Right.
That's on surplus net time they look on, but boy, we had to work with in Belize City, if you contact the South. And so we dropped the ball in that I had clean forgotten. When I spoke to you maybe a week ago or whenever it was, and I called him, he said, man, I forget the thing too. So he called his dude yesterday, and the dude's supposed to call him back, but you know how
That
that
doesn't
goes.
happen. That doesn't happen, man.
You know how that
I,
goes.
I, that was a sad state of affairs, but listen, that's how things are done in Belize. I'll tell you another thing now, because have you been watching on the news when we talk about the companies' registries and whatnot, and the right to privacy and all of that? And I'm hearing them say that the media was pressing them now for information on who owns what company, and the
Mm-hmm.
prime minister said, no, 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 privacy is the foundation of democracy. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying, this not sound right to me.
It's not.
Transparency is the
It,
foundation
it,
of democracy.
it's not. It's not, G Mike. You know that that registry should never have been privatized in the first place.
Oh, boy,
But normally, when these things happen, it's really the insiders of both political parties basically get together. You
they,
do your research
they,
on the
they,
gas company, G Mike.
boy, look here,
Uh,
I saw that too. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, yeah. And at some point, we will need to address the issue of corruption in public office and UNCAC.
Well,
Uh,
yes,
because
but see,
you see what I say?
what we need to look at also is the collusion between the two parties. People
Yes,
are both, because many of these companies have shareholders from both sides of the political divide,
yes.
and so
You do your research on the registry, G Mike, and that's exactly what you will see.
yeah, yeah. Because I remember when it first came out, and the names that were called, and
Mhm.
they were supposed to be at each other's throats, but not so. When the money started roll, boy, it's a sad thing, George. Uh,
It is, G Mike, like this process we had to deal with right now. There's a lot of skepticism because, as you would appreciate, the process of reforming the constitution,
mm,
you basically need to script it first, and then you hand it to the political directorate. Well, a number of people who are on the technical team that we call the commission, they are basically saying, but even if we do a good job, what assurances that we have that the politicians will not pick it apart, because in a sense it is curtailing their power.
mhm,
Politics is all about control,
mhm, mhm.
and if you have a political process that says they want to reform, you have to take it with a pound of salt, not a grain of salt, but a pound of salt. Because I know nobody that surrenders power, but I am giving them the benefit
Gosh.
of the doubt.
Well,
You know?
what has to be done, though, George? You have to take it to the people, because at the end of the day,
Yes.
the people are the power, and the power of the people is greater than the people in power. Um,
Yes.
Also, I think the fourth estate has been falling down, has been letting us down. And the fourth
Which is the
estate,
media. The media.
yes, and the
Yeah.
media is the voice of the people. And it has
Yeah.
been said that the voice of the people on earth is the voice of God. So the media represents the people who are the bigger force, and who is in fact the run things people, no? So,
Yeah. But the media is compromised, just like the NGO, G Mike.
well, that's the sad thing, boy. And
Which is
with,
why one of my bally came down, G Mike, and did the same thing that you are doing, but he more aggressive than you. The
yeah,
bally Satan, right? He came down here with a lot of ideas and money. And by the next thing we know, in our Bergerman, right? And
you
we
mean,
came down with,
Gil? Gil, is
yeah,
that? Yeah.
yeah.
Uh,
And by after a while, he need to organize thing, and when they go through the politician there, one of your boys there from the blue, I call it the Crips, blue the Crips, the
well,
political Crips, basically try shut down the man, and they shut him down.
they will. They will.
Um,
In fact, they could starve you out. In other words, whatever
Yes.
help you need for get from them, even in the way of facilitating things and making things work, they stymie you. They put all kind of red tape in place. Again, I tell you
Mm-hmm.
again, I'm trying to re-register the company, and it's not doing me
Mm-hmm.
any good because I'm paying FIU every year $100. Um,
Okay.
then I have to go and re-register it with the company's registry. But now
Okay.
they ain't got one office where they have the one window that you go to, and they tell you, boy, you have to go through the website. But the website
Mm.
is so user unfriendly, George. I went in and I filled in all the details, and when I got to the end, it said we can't communicate with Social Security, so you have to try later. So
Mm.
I had to see, I had get an option to save. I saved everything, went out, come back in, I can't find information,
Oh
can't go
man.
back in. Man, and that took me 2 hours sitting down there trying to make sure, because you have to go over and over and over. I had to call the other people on the board with me, get all the information all over again because I don't keep the information, you know what I mean? But
Well, well,
and so I can't do nothing right now with that. But it's not like it helps me because people aren't even using it to say, well, boy, I want. Uh, um, Most people who give, that not many people are like Melita, who gives
mm-hmm.
an amount that you really could say, well, all right, boy, this is really something I could use, no? Um,
Mm-hmm.
so, but people don't do it. What kind of last person I asked, I say, why we got non-profit status? Why don't you just try to get some tax relief from it? And I said, my boy, the last
Mm-hmm.
time I did that, they audit me to no end. He says, and I
Yes.
said, he said, apparently you got money for giveaway, so you must do something wrong.
But G Mike, this is what I wanted to get into a little earlier. That like when I got through high school, technical. Why you say the Chinese is that before the Chinese they arrived on the scene. Um, why one ordinary guy where I tell you his name, he had a club named Dimsmy Rio. I think that club still go on. One of his sons was in technical, not in my class, but in another class. And by the first word that man is and he no exception to the rule. This is what was happening. Uh, Broders was a very constructive corporate citizen.
Hmm.
And at the time, G Mike, businesses could have basically get government to basically um, give them a tax incentive for sponsoring sports. But all of that, G Mike, has been swept through the door. And basically, what you have now is Miss Melita Finstein et al. These are the only people that are giving the Chinese. They are giving nothing.
Boy, the
When they
Mennonites,
when they give, it's basically to the security forces to basically keep their business going on.
quid pro
Um,
quo, quid pro quo.
yeah, 88 shopping center no need for hire no security guard. They got the police as security guard.
Chow Sang? What you mean? No,
Yeah. All
uh,
right.
also the Mennonites are not giving anything, and they have one
Yeah.
clause in their thing that they forever and ever, they not got to
Yes.
pay. They got some exempt and on taxes and thing as a religious group. And my boy then they make money hand over fist and giving nothing back. I
Mm-hmm.
had a kite contest and I went in. They said, boy, write a letter. I write the letter. Send an email. I send an email. I took a hard copy into the man and put it in my hand. The man said, boy, we can't do nothing. I said, my boy,
Mm-hmm.
how about a couple of these small chicken, 50 cents a piece, sell them for? Couldn't you maybe can get them for a leave for a price and so the kids could try to start to raise and get familiar with farming and stuff. Say, boy, we
Mm-hmm.
can't. We things bad, boy. We can't help you.
Yeah.
Then they tell me about how much then they do for the community. What? What really? Where is it?
Yeah. But G Mikey goes back to public policy and this whole constitutional reform exercise. It's just a policy and it's just public policy. And so we are being advised and encouraged by the technical expert because these things have to be kind of supported by people that are to law. And we are basically being encouraged to understand this kind. And you could be our way on and see how
it
people will
broke up.
respond to it or get it from the people. Long story short, G Mike. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, long story short,
No, go ahead.
I think what needs to happen is that at the reflect when a young lady said one time in the media, calling to I could have been more show, and she basically said, "You can't fix Belize, you know, Mike. What Belize need a makeover." And I took what she said very seriously because that like your car, G Mike, yeah, you could deal with a flat and you could deal with maybe some suspension gone bad. But when the whole vehicle is suspect, you need a whole rebuild or you need a new vehicle. And
From
that is
top
where
to
Belize
bottom.
is at.
From top to
Yes.
bottom.
Systemic.
Every step
The
of the way, you
systemic.
know. Every step of the way,
Systemic.
George, and nobody, you know what that it thought, the common thought is like, well, if I not do it, someone else will. I mean,
Yes.
and if you get in our system and you try be the good guy and talk about you and
Mm-hmm.
change thing, you gone, you know. You'll be
Yeah, for
ostracized,
real.
or they will start a rumor upon you, and the very people that you're trying to stand up for will be the ones to condemn you and crucify you.
Well, that's what they do Jesus, G Mike. He
Pray,
come
my
to save
boy.
humanity.
Yeah.
I used to
And
him to him.
one week they heal as a hero, and the next minute they was nailing him on the cross. So,
Yes.
but that,
Um,
and then
that's
and
a
then
morality fail.
hold up, since we're close to Christmas, instead of then saying, "Why, you know what, we messed up, we kill an innocent man, yeah, because even Pilate said, I don't find no fault in this man."
Exactly,
Um,
G Mike.
you know what we say? Why he came to die, you know. You know, we just made the fulfillment of scripture. We had the man had to
Yeah,
dead. The man come for that.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I don't know, because if we're serving a forgiving God, and if God could forgive everybody else, I don't think God may sit down and watch his son punish on a cross like that and not forgive whatever sins was meant to be forgiven.
Uh,
They want
of course.
it is the greatest story ever told. Then I'm gonna put it like that.
Well, remember, G Mike, that I guess I'm not religious that way, but the human side of Jesus, basically when they were closing him and him, Jesus tried to seek refuge in the spur of a tree, of a fig tree.
Mm.
So it's not like he just walked into his death and said, "All right, well, I come for dead anyway." You
That way
understand?
that's what they want us to believe. That's what they want us
Yes,
to believe.
but Jesus was bleeding just like me and you,
I think
and they sacrificed him.
I think mankind should, for once and for all, stand up and say, "Boy, you know what? We did a very bad thing. We repent. We're sorry. We shouldn't have done that."
Yeah.
As opposed to, but that the
Well,
narcissism of the human race, that we can't be wrong.
well,
We
well,
have to find one way, and why are many people the same way, Judge? So,
well, well, G. Mike, you remember one of the things about history is that it repeats itself. And when you look at there's an excellent movie with Winston Churchill, probably the last one they made about him, where Winston said, um, "I don't know what I want to think about this war, but my reward for winning this war is that I get to write history."
hmm,
And so I come out as the hero. If Hitler
well,
had won, Hitler would have been the hero.
exactly.
You see,
Different history may read, yeah,
and so even the guys that killed Jesus, you know what they
yeah,
came out and said? We are the chosen one.
yeah,
And the
exactly.
Jews they killed Jesus,
Isn't that
and then
amazing?
only kill the man. Then only kill the man and say we are the chosen people.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So
Boy,
they get history.
the part where sweet me, that the Barabbas part, because they will ask you, why, look what, if when they chose Barabbas and let him go, he's still among us. You want,
Yes.
why all this crime? Why all this, Barabbas is among us, my boy. That here we want. We
Mm-hmm.
wanted that, we made our choice. See,
Mm-hmm.
so I want sad state. And another thing about the whole Christmas story and whatnot also is I believe the more on rebirth of the sun, which happens every 21st of December. You know that. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the way the old ancients used to celebrate, is that the
Mm-hmm.
days stop getting longer, shorter, and start getting longer again. The
All
sun is
right.
actually reborn on the
Yes.
21st, which was the winter solstice, no?
Yes.
And
Yes. For
they
real.
burned the Yule logs and whatnot and celebrated, had a big feast. Um,
Yes.
of course, what the Christians did, or the Catholic Church in particular, was they took all the old pagan religions and assign them to their faith. So like what might have been a pagan holiday is a certain saint day. Easter again is another time when the sun goes into another a stage and whatnot. So
Mhm.
it's a
Mhm.
it's a long story, and you even have to be careful how you discuss it, because those prolific believers, those who are staunch and they are
Mhm.
hanging on to it, they don't want to see nothing else because they have found their truth. Mhm.
Well, one of the things about religion is that everybody who have their little sect basically think that they have the answer. And my view is that if you look at the fundamentals of Jesus's mission, Jesus says somebody slap you upon the left cheek, turn the right one. He basically say, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. You understand? And the basic foundation of Jesus is universal.
Indeed, indeed,
He is
indeed.
preaching the same thing as Jesus was preaching the same thing as Gandhi. Gandhi said we could affect change by non-violence.
Well, most of the
You,
stories,
you understand?
most of the stories in the Bible are metaphorical and allegorical. They're you can relate to situations with them, so they're not necessarily, I think, to be taken
Hmm.
verbatim or
Literally.
such and
Yeah.
literally,
Yeah.
but it applies to situations, and you're absolutely right, and it runs the gamut across the human race.
Hmm.
Whichever religion you believe in, at the end of the day, there are commandments, there are guidelines you must follow,
Hmm.
because if you don't have order, you'll have chaos, and
Hmm.
the exercise is actually to bring order out of chaos. Um,
Right.
and once you abide by the basic tenets, the common sense rules, then
Hmm.
you're all right. You're okay. But Judge, listen, we could, and our topic where we could go on and on. I don't know what happened to our guys. Um, is somebody else
What?
on? Look, there goes the neighborhood.
Look,
Uh,
look who is back.
look, the trouble with a capital T. The man come with
All
all
right, you can
he,
say, look who is back.
as the man come in a briefcase. He got a whole stack of stuff.
Mr.
Um,
Brackett.
No, no money there in there, sir.
no money. All
The
right.
case empty by now.
Yeah, well, I know. And now you're out there to share it out like crazy. So I hear the get hamina all over the place. I don't get none yet. So when you get a chance, now you know where I live, right? Uh,
Somebody that misinform you. Somebody
yeah.
that message you.
What is your religion, Leonard?
Uh, as a little kid, I grew up in Catholic, and then got switched over to Methodist, and subsequent to that, got involved in studying religious affairs. To the point where I became a Seventh-day Adventist,
Mm-hmm.
and then just got deeper into philosophy and all kind of other ologies and things. And at the end of the day, I think I'm a bad Adventist.
Bad
Bad,
Adventist.
bad Ventus.
Hmm.
Okay.
You sound like
Eh,
you have seen the truth.
mm. Oh boy.
And you know that the truth? The
Uh,
truth that on the
uh,
spiritual side,
uh, uh,
when you find peace within,
uh-huh.
and when you could relate that peace to the greater universe, you call God Jehovah, you call God Allah, wherever that truth is, you will know when you find it.
Why?
Because you will
But
have
but but but
fulfillment.
didn't Satan took Jesus up to the mountain top and tell him to he'll give him all of what he can see from that position only if you'd bow down and worship him?
Exactly. But Jesus did not find peace with that. So it goes to my scripture, John 3:16.5.
No, they really
Where you
get deep.
find inner peace.
Really get deep into it. No, the man that quotes scripture, boy. So anyway, you celebrate Christmas, Leonard?
I always do, sir.
Oh, wonderful. All right. I find that any reason to celebrate is all right with me. I like Trinidad. Then celebrate every religion got a one day of celebration with it, and then just party the whole year long.
That's the idea.
Yeah, I mean enjoy life, no. But I think God likes a good celebration. He wants us to feel happy. You don't want to go in the church. Amen. No. I think he wants us to. That's why I like the revival churches. Let's go. Old time
Mr.
religion.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I recall once you told me that I was going to be tiring God. Remember that side conversation?
No one remember that one. That
Oh,
you
man.
you would be tarring God.
Tiring.
Calling.
Oh yeah. You tire God for you, man. You tire God. Yeah, I believe that.
But I just want to make this observation that maybe about 2 or 3 years ago, my little grandson, the youngest one, was in kindergarten and they asked me to come and be Santa. This guy never know what that for. But in any event, let us say that the school had about 50 kids. The Muslim kids, and it struck me because maybe there was about, I don't know, 5 or 6 Muslim kids, and all the rest of the kids are having their gifts and getting a picture take with Santa, and the Muslim kids just stood apart. And I
They-
said that when you use religion as a divider,
no.
whether you're a Muslim / Mohammedan or a Christian, I think that you have to check yourself because just like Leonard, G. Mike, and Leonard, I did a serious walk when I was very young. I did Buddhism, I did Islam, I did obviously Christianity. I kind of understood what Hinduism was, but I never delved into that. When you look at Islam, it basically says that Islam means peace. And I think that you can't put all Muslims in at the same category, just like Christianity and the other religions.
Mhm.
And I think that when you look at the dark side of your faith and you basically interpret the fact that, you know what, I want to take the sword as opposed to the dove. You have a choice between the sword and the dove. What drove me from Islam was really the issue of jihad. I don't think I fully understood what it meant then, but even now that I understand more,
You mean the holy war?
yeah, you have a duty. I have a duty to convert UG Mike and Leonard.
Wish you well.
And if I speak to you guys and I try to minister to you, and you kind of just reject me, and I come back and I say, but G Mike, man, we not just talked about this last week.
But
Yeah, my duty is to basically, well, I'm to you, you know, G Mike. When
But no,
see
no,
the third time,
I don't know where that came from though. Because I've read the Quran. I've read the
it's right
Quran.
in there.
No, you'd have to show me.
I will show you.
I don't know if that's a
I
misinterpretation,
have one
but
copyright. I have one copyright from the place there.
yeah, okay.
Huh?
But Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
can I piggyback on Mr. Marvin's statement just now?
Go ahead, certainly.
He intimated that Islam, for all intents and purposes, is both the sword, you know,
And the dove.
and the dove. So is Judaism. So is
So-
Christianity. Remember the Crusaders' wars? What that
Yeah.
was about? Remember the
Yeah.
conquest of the Americas? What that was all about? In the name of God.
Yeah, yeah. Well, but listen.
So I mean,
But let-
I'm agreeing with him. I'm agreeing with him. You know, but I'm just
But-
reinforcing what he's saying with some of the perspective that would amplify the thought, no,
But that
and confirm or affirm.
that is everything. That is everything. You have a good and a bad side to everything, and I think they have to exist together because one, if you had only one, you couldn't be able to appreciate the other. So they are both, and Frederick Douglass, I believe, it was who said, "Where there's no struggle, there's no progress." If you want to get a strong body and buff up and get muscles, you have to lift weights. So there has to be resistance.
But remember, Mr. Chairman, that there's a time element to the expression of religion and everything else. And so what the Christianity did back in the 1300s with the Inquisition is basically where Islam is. There's a scholar who's not a religious scholar, he's a scientist who basically said that when you look at Islam versus Christianity, Islam was the center of learning up to the 10th century, or really the 11th century, up to 1000 AD. And there was a Muslim leader who came by and basically said that learning is against Islam.
Learning is against Islam?
Yes. Essentially, I think what he was insinuating, and I'll get it to you, what he was insinuating is that the more you learn, the more you are questioned. But that is not a religion that you want to ask too many questions of.
I don't know. I would not. I have looked at this a bit. I don't know. I think a lot of that is just propaganda, and you know, Islam is the fastest growing religion in the world, right? And at this point, thank you, CY. CY helped me out the last time, and killed a couple of mosquitoes, and with good reason. A couple nights ago, one and they kept wake me up from 2 in the morning, and I couldn't go back or sleep. Every time I try to sleep, it's singing on my ears. So when I sit there, I have to get rid of it. If you live that believes, you know.
Some barracuda.
Boy, look, you know. Anyway, but yeah. I am not convinced that religion is the ideal religion, nor is it the worst religion out there. I think at the end of the day, we go right back to where you were, George, where it's within you. You have to know everything is up to you. And the belief of it is not enough. It's practicing the goodness of everything and being on the good side of everything. And we all have within our hearts a scale of measure where we know when we're going right and we know when we're going wrong.
And that's why I think that, I mean, there's obviously a dichotomy when it comes to religion and spirituality. You could be very dogmatic and religious, but you're not necessarily spiritual in terms of identifying with quote unquote a higher power. You know, so like me personally, I feel more comfortable with people who are kind of conscious, quote unquote conscious, because to me, religious labels do not define what they do and how they treat you.
But do you question a higher authority?
G Mike, when you say question a higher authority, what do you mean, G Mike?
The existence of a higher authority.
G Mike, I don't. If you kind of put it in the context of there's a Superman that we call God. Who
no. You can't put it. I am not putting in that
dwell behind the cloud.
No. You were putting that in. Don't put it that way.
No.
You know what Humpty Dumpty said, right? When I said, I mean what I said. I mean, and that and nothing else. That right there, no. But let me put.
You asked me if I believe in a higher being.
Yes, but
I am saying to you, G Mike, that I believe in the Big Bang.
You do, all right.
There are many questions that are still unanswered.
Who initiated the Big Bang? What caused it to be initiated?
A man and a woman. A man and a woman when they created life.
I hear the mumbling at the background. Where we're selling out, there was so many Big Bangs.
Who initiated the Big Bang and what caused it to come about?
Well, maybe that we don't know. We are getting there. As far as science goes, there was no guy pulling the plug. There's no evidence. Remember, science is based on evidence.
Mr. Chairman, may I have an opportunity to expound?
Go ahead, but go ahead.
Thank you very much, sir. human beings have a tendency to ascribe to anything that they believe is superior to them, greater than them, and or less than them, motives and human traits. In the Bible, it says that God made human beings in his own image. But we got to remember that even though the Bible says that God made human beings in his own image, he didn't make them as God or God themselves. Even though he gave them some virtues that he didn't give the angels, and even Lucifer didn't get some particular virtues as far as what we could read out of the Bible. But my perspective is that questioning and or determining whether or not there is an entity or a being out there that human beings ascribe this godly powers or the powers of bringing into existence what did not exist before. We have to remember that when we're talking about the Bible and the concept of the creation of human beings on the face of this earth, that this globe existed eons before it was intended to be occupied, and before it was occupied by human beings. So
what you're saying there, you can't prove. You can't prove that. You can't. So anytime get dogmatic like that.
Sir,
I have a problem with that. Go ahead.
Can I dispel that thought that you brought just now? But I can't prove this, or I can't prove that. None of us can prove him that we exist. But as soon as we get to the point where we can prove that we exist,
how you mean you
we
can't
acknowledge the existence
how can you not prove
of
that
something
you
that is
exist?
greater than ourselves.
How can you not prove you exist? Go ahead.
No, you reverse what I just said.
You just said none of us can prove that we exist. That's what you said.
What I'm intimating, sir, is that just as how some people say they can't prove that God exists because they can't see him, feel him, or know anything about him, we know as human beings that we exist by virtue of our one's self-consciousness.
All right. May I say something now?
Okay, go. Because it's a discussion, right? But I was prefacing a point. But please go ahead, sir.
But even
Go ahead. No. Go ahead, sir.
Even if
I might learn something.
Just let's make her go ahead then. If you want to say go ahead.
Okay, sorry.
It's annoying, man. You keep on adding and throwing.
But sir, please make the point. I don't get back to what I was trying to say then.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Listen, in your household, there's a hierarchy. There has to be hierarchy. You're the boss. If you want to be your wife be the boss, then they're the boss, and even you're over your children. There is hierarchy in the world in every situation. So I think the same would apply. And I don't think you can use the Bible and the Bible says as a premise to any argument. But you can rationalize to prove or to show where your point is going. I think there is hierarchy, and there has to be at some point. You go up, and it goes on to infinity. It doesn't stop because God is infinity, and that's why I think you cannot put your finger on God as such, because anything where you put your finger on is more. There's more than that, and that's my problem. I don't have a problem with the God thing. I have a problem with the Jesus thing, because God did not create man in his image. Man created
the subject
God.
will be changed at that point, though. The point of that we're discussing will be changed if we go from God to Jesus. You know.
The operative term there.
What do you mean change? What are you saying?
Because we're discussing one. Okay. We're trying to discuss one, and we can't even get the thoughts through on one. You know, for us to include two or three, or it will just make it will combobulate the whole discussion. In other words.
Can I quote a part of scripture that none of you have heard of?
Do we want to hear it?
Good evening, Greg. Yeah, do we want to hear it? Good evening, Greg.
As the angel's advocate.
Yes.
As the angel's advocate. You do know that when we refer to time, that certain events have happened 10 BC. And certain events have happened, Belize got independence in 1981 AD. All right? There's also a part of scripture that is not in the Bible, and it's called Darwin Charles Darwin.
You're not serious.
Darwin.
You're really not serious.
Darwin.
Yeah, Mr. Marvin. Mr.
In
Marvin.
1850. Wait a man. I did quote scripture now.
I know, sir, but please, I mean, let's be serious. If we're going to have a serious discussion, let's be serious.
Yeah.
We can't conflate this thing, you
I
know?
agree with the man now. I
That
agree
gives
with the
reason
man.
for confusion.
How can you say?
Mr.
How can
Chairman, wait no man.
No, man. How can you say there's a part of scripture that's not in the scripture? What are you saying?
The man was messing around, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, the man previous, he gave you a heads up at the beginning, right?
You yourself said that it's allegorical, Mr.
The man
Chair.
thinks it that,
You said that it's
I think it's
metaphorical and
entitled.
allegorical. And I am saying that there's a body of scripture that is based on demonstrable facts. Darwin basically said, when I visited the Galapagos, I realized that the animals that I was seeing were related.
You
And
serious?
they came from a single source at one point.
Right.
He discovered 15 species of finches.
Uh-huh.
And he realized that the color and the size and the feeding ecology of these finches depended on where they were. And over time, he speculated that they changed. We are now demonstrating, Mr. Chairman, that evolution is not only a theory, it's proven fact.
No, it's not.
And it is proven fact.
No,
Mr.
it's
Chairman.
not.
Why
Prove it
say
to me.
this?
Prove
You
it
want
to me.
You want to prove it to you?
Where's the missing
Mr.
link?
Chairman, Mr.
How can
Chairman,
you jump from one gene to the next? How can you from one DNA to the next? How can
Very
you do
easy, very easy, Mr. Chair.
that?
2 years ago, when COVID hit,
Uh-huh.
we call it COVID-19.
Uh-huh.
You know what evolution is?
Uh-huh.
Evolution is basically the changing of the genetic sequence over time and its adaptation to a different environment. What we have seen with COVID-19.
Oh, but see, when you say that and you just run, you said that you see how you drop that and you run? No. You can't drop that as fact, and we have to accept that. That's not true. That is not true.
G-Mike, are you saying
that's why man turned into monkey or monkey turned into man?
Are you saying that there's no Delta variant of COVID-19? Are you saying
But that's how can you put that in my mouth? We're not even talking about that. I'm saying evolution is not what you saying it is.
It is.
No, evolution is from a babe. You see, hold up. Let me say something now. No, go there.
All right.
You see how you see how we start to walk on all fours and then we go stand up upright and that's from baby to man. Hold on now. Let me go on.
We did not start with man, Mr. Chair.
So why? But make I talk and leave it now, sir. Listen to me. If you don't have to agree, The man have been taking pictures of himself since in the early 1800s. Long before that, man was drawing even on cave walls pictures of himself. Since then, man has looked the same. In fact, some men have gone uglier and more animal looking. So not tell me that. And I really, again, do not believe. I believe that man was created just like he is, and not only in the image of God, but as God. And that God did not create man, but God became man. That is my belief.
Yes, but your belief, Mr. Chair, your belief might have nothing to do with reality.
Neither my chairs. Neither my chairs.
To the point. Yeah, but Mr. Chair, do you know that? Do you know that Homo sapiens is not the only man that ever existed? You ever heard about Cro-Magnon man?
Listen, I've heard about a lot of things, but not like that. We have discussed history.
Come in.
We have discussed history already. We have discussed history. We have discussed history. You just said.
How old is man?
You're asking questions. Which one of us can answer these questions? Which one of us can answer these questions that you're asking? Which one of us? Yeah, right. Oh, bow down for that man, boy. Bow down to that man. Bow down to that man. John, Gregory, you're quiet. You're quiet, Greg. You're quiet.
You know, sometimes I just have to listen.
You know, make the man talk. So the man just come making any word in, sir. Yes, because you're the talk low and fool, man. You talk, you don't know where to talk about, boy.
No, you can't say that, Mr. Chairman, without due
You
respect.
don't know, without due respect, you don't know what you're saying, and we don't discuss the history, how until the lions learn to write, history will favor
True.
the hunter. We discussed
True.
that. We
No,
know that
but
you
that's-
can.
that's
So you
not-
to go back into the 1500 BC. Where
So,
were
Mr.
you
Chairman,
then?
No.
time
Not
is running, and
1500
Mr.
Yeah.
Greg Nugget,
200,000 BC.
Can, would
first
you,
word.
can we have
200,000 BC.
George? Can we have Mr.
I'm happy to jump on Mr. Marvitt's point and try and clarify something that he seems to be oblivious about. But
Make Gregory get the input,
Mr. Man
please.
needs a chance.
You make the man forget the point, man. Go ahead, Greg.
Okay. I do find this kind of interesting, this topic. I believe that there is a God, but where he lives, I believe, is in us. And like you said, Mr. Chairman, I believe man became God and that God is in us. I think they're not lying when they said, where is God? And they said he lives in your heart. It's because we are the God. We are the God. And collaboratively, we make things happen in ways that's just phenomenal.
Good word.
But is there a creator? I believe that there is a creator
Had to
that
be.
created all this universe and stuff
yes.
that somehow exists.
Yes.
Where he is, and does he want to call himself God? I don't think so. He's
Do I
too
even
big-
want to know? Do I even
Yeah.
want to know that? You
Yeah,
know?
he's too big for that. He's too
Thank
big
you.
for that.
It's too
How do you
infinite.
know-
Yeah.
How do you know that it's a he?
But
it
it's
could be
not.
a she
It doesn't
too.
matter.
How do
See,
it
see,
matters?
you see how you introduce
How do you
the
know it's a
mischief.
he?
You're being
see-
mischievous, George. You're being mischievous.
I am being, I use the word the angel's advocate.
No, advocate. You're the
Angel
devil's
advocate.
advocate. Stop lying.
Angel advocate.
Stop lying.
So you are putting a label on me because I'm bringing the truth.
Well, you put one by yourself and by telling a lie.
We
You
talked
put one by yourself by
talked
telling a
about-
lie.
But
talked
I
about
read
we talked
something.
about
I
how
read
the Jews
something.
crucified Jesus for the
He
truth.
won't let you speak. He only want to hear himself. Go ahead.
I read something recently that actually says that man existed 50 million years ago. The
No.
dinosaurs got wiped out 65 million years ago. 64,
No.
some
But how
say.
do they know that?
You can't
Well,
believe everything you read.
I think we don't know how reliable the science is, but the science they have has indicated through what they call carbon dating and some other that goes even beyond carbon dating that kind of tells them that. But
Man is not that old. If man was that old, the earth
no,
would
no,
have
no,
been
no. Well,
would have been overpopulated
well,
already.
because man has existed on this earth and have vanished off it pretty much to and had
come
almost
back
had to
again?
start over again.
Well, make we
Several
talk about
times.
the start over part. Can we did that first part we don't know nothing about?
No. Well, I'm talking when they go and they find
you refuse
artifacts
to
and
see the
stuff.
truth.
When
You don't
Mr. Chairman,
you
sees
can't
the people
handle the
refuse to acknowledge the truth.
you
He
can't
doesn't want
handle
me
the
to
truth.
speak.
You can't handle the
You
truth. You're
can't
not
suppress
speaking
the truth,
truth.
Mr.
You're
Chair.
not speaking truth.
You
You're
can't
speaking
suppress the truth.
some garbled.
You
No,
can't
no.
suppress the truth, Mr. Chair.
Uh,
Eve is 200,000 years old.
how you know that?
You know how we know it? Mr.
Uh-huh.
Chair?
Uh-huh.
You know, every cell of your body have chromosomes. And there's a little organelle in your cells called the ribosomal organelle.
Which
What
one
they
they
have
come
done-
from the hip? Which one they come
what
from the
they-
hip?
that's the whole brain.
Which one they come from the ape? It came from the ape ancestors that we came from.
That's the old brain.
And so the evolution, so we got to this point and evolution stopped. It just stopped when we get to we.
You know. I don't think
it
the
hasn't
evolution
stopped.
of man has
It
stopped.
hasn't
I don't think.
No,
I don't think-
no, not in the true sense,
It
Gregory.
hasn't stopped.
But that's
No, I
what
know,
they're
I know.
suggesting. That's what
No,
they're
I
suggesting.
understand. But I wanted to get serious on the point. I think one day and one day I was sitting down and I was thinking, man, miracles. Is that real? And then I thought about the one that said the blind could see, the lame could walk, And I was at a waiting for a store to open to get a battery for my car, and then all of a sudden I saw this lady that was. It said veteran on the back of her chair that her electric chair that she was driving in, and she just fly past me faster than I could walk, and I was like, maybe that is the miracle. the technology that man has adopted.
That's evolution. That's evolution. That is evolution.
Mr. Morrison,
The evolution Mr. Mavitt is talking about is completely different, though.
And Mr.
What?
Morrison,
Different than what? How can you know? You
Mr.
can't.
He's talking about the
Morrison.
evolution,
Yes, yes.
You know
the
where-
theory.
you know where that
He's talking about the
technology
theory
came from?
of the evolution that allows for mankind to believe that there is no entity greater or superior to the intellect of human beings.
Hubris.
No.
And none of us
I don't think
as
man
human
believes
beings,
that.
none of us as human beings ever put 1 ounce of our intellect to bring about what we are now discovering is out there for so many billions
Right.
of
That
years,
is true.
like years away from us.
I have found something to agree with you upon.
But you're contradicting yourself, Mr. Brackett.
I am
In
not.
what way? In
I'm
what
not.
way?
You're saying that
Let him explain it.
we haven't exhausted 1 ounce of brain power to discover that. That takes.
I didn't say to
major,
discover.
major,
I didn't say.
capacity.
Please, there's a major
Yes,
difference
sir.
there because if the conversation goes into the issue of discovering, then that's a different point. I'm
Right,
saying
but I am
none of
saying-
us
Go ahead.
as human beings exerted 1 ounce of energy to bring about into existence any of the things that we can see beyond
And enjoy.
what the human eye can physically see, that we now know exist because of these powerful telescopes that are now pushing the boundaries of what they call the known universe beyond, to the point where we are now talking about multiverses
I-
for those who are aware of these type of sciences, because we can take the discussion into a scientific realm, or we can keep it in a religious realm, or we can just philosophize it. I mean, there are so many different ways that the conversation can go.
You're confusing me.
But we have to be, we have to stay within parameters in order to have a true conversation or a lucid
Judge
conversation.
knows not parameters.
but
Judge
Mr.
knows not parameters.
Mr. Brackett,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Brackett,
I'm hearing. I'm listening.
you and the chairman seem to be saying that God came about not from any there's no scientific basis.
He's a
What is science, Mr. Maivik? I'll ask you a dumb question. What is
You're
science,
saying-
sir?
I am saying to you guys that this God that you might believe hides behind
You
the
don't
cloud
know.
doesn't exist.
But you can't explain.
Science is a
nobody's
human
God.
construct.
You cannot explain a
Science
person. You
How
It's a
cannot.
human construct.
How do we know?
You cannot explain anybody's God to them. You don't
Yes,
know what
we
God.
can.
You don't know what my concept of God is. You don't.
It's
You
a
cannot.
fiction.
You can
It's
never.
a fiction.
It's in your mind. That's a fiction.
It's a fiction.
That's
But
for
even-
you. It's a
even-
fiction.
Even over time, the concept of God
So
have
who
evolved with
created-
man.
So who
Very
created,
much so.
Mr. Chairman? Who created the quote unquote heavens and the earth? Was
God.
it you? Because you say you're a God.
No,
Was
I
it
didn't
you?
say that. I didn't say
But
that.
you
Let me
said that
let me
God
try to.
is
No,
true.
hold on. Let me
Yes,
try
yes,
to
yes.
explain it to you. If you
Ah.
let me try. You see,
All right,
like how there's a tree, and a lot of trees form a forest, but no one tree is the forest. It's the same way. And no
that-
one man is God, but all men are God together, because God said, "Let us go down," and God became man. I am.
No.
That's- Hold up.
You
No,
overstate.
you
You conflate.
hold up.
Mr. Chairman, you're conflating, sir.
No, I actually
representation
believe
of what
I believe
God
what the
is.
chairman is saying in that regard. that-
Somehow, human beings never just pop out of the universe on the face of this globe, and now that we are finding out that there are so many other globes that exist in the rest of the
We're not
universe, the
finding out
multiverse.
anything. We're not finding
You
out anything. We're not
Well,
finding out. We're
For
building a
those who
Tower of
don't, for those who
Babel.
don't know, then
how
some people
high-
don't know.
So,
And some people
how do you know? What do
assume
you
that they know.
Are you an
Or presume.
astronomer? Have you gone out there?
I'm an avid student of the subject, so and that's why I can,
and
I
you're
can attest to these
you're
things.
reading what people are telling you. You don't know
Right.
any of that as a fact
Right.
from your personal experience.
None of us was here before our parents.
Duh. What are you saying? I'm trying to figure out what that means.
And I can tell you that none of our parents have lived 100 years before they gave us birth.
That's a very good point, Mr. Brackett.
What's the point? That's a very good point.
Well, that's a good point, huh?
Time,
Yeah.
time itself is a human
That's
construct.
invalid, man. That's
Conceptually
invalid.
Time as an element of measurement
You know
is
that
a human construct, and we are discussing human construct.
The man said, none of us were here before parents, and Miley thinks that's a very good point. I have to agree. I have to agree.
I think he
Yes,
was making the
yes, I
point.
agree.
So how many parents,
think that
how many
Mr. Bradley
generations
was
back you want to go before you start
All right.
before you start disagreeing that, well, that previous generation before me, I wasn't around, so I don't believe what they're saying or what they passed down to us.
You ever
That was
think
the essence
about
of my
this?
or the focus of my point,
You ever think
or
about
the
this?
relevance of my point.
You ever think about this? That you're a father and you're a son and you're have a Holy Ghost in you, and that you are Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Did you ever think about that? Don't you breathe? Isn't there a breath of air that you can't live without? Don't you have a mind that you can actually create whatever you want? You could there write there, George, and you could think back to Uruguay when you were there. You can take yourself back
you are,
there.
But Mr. Chair, you are switching between the individual and the group. And I am saying to you, based on what Mr. Brackett was saying, you can't be the father and the son at the same time.
Why not?
You can't be a one
no, but you can be a pop. You can be a father, and how could you not be a father? How can you make such an absurd statement? You are father and son at the same time.
I am quoting you.
No, you are saying I can't be that. I'm saying yes, you can be.
But you are saying, listen, one man, none of God. But when you got 1,000 men, those 1,000 men become God.
No, 1,000 men. No, 1,000 men.
This is warped logic.
No, 1,000 men.
Even logic.
No, 1,000 men.
When you have humanity.
All of men. All of humanity.
So we are all gods.
Yes.
So you're saying that there's no superior being.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that because all of us are beholden to a God, a superior God. But
Mr. Chairman,
all of us
can I piggyback on the statement you just made? Can I piggyback quickly on the statement you just made, sir?
There's man God and then there's God.
What are you saying? What are you saying? What really are you saying, Joe? No, you can't. Oh, you want to tell me where to say? How you want to put words in my mouth like that? You don't even know what you are saying. How you gonna know what I am saying?
I try to understand what you say.
You know you try to understand. You try to put it in words where you can understand. But you can't do that. Then give me a break. I could explain it to you anytime you want. I can't explain it to you.
But my understanding of what you're saying
but that's it.
Defies logic.
No. You have a misunderstanding of what I'm saying.
Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead.
This subject that we are discussing right now about God, could we seriously start address the subject as a serious subject for discussion rather than just bantering? Because I know for right now we are just messing with each other and piggybacking on each other's statement and running and making statements and so. But I mean, remember we are doing this thing for the public benefit, right? And I think in the public benefit or public interest.
For right now, the public.
We need to cut a little of the bantering once in a while and just go straight to the heart of some. I mean, there will be difference in opinions. I mean, that's a given.
Yeah, but if the public benefits, fine. But right now we are doing it for our benefit. And I'm just saying, I don't want to seem selfish, but right now we're discussing this and see if the public wishes to be involved and make some comments, fine. But at the end of the day, we are here discussing this among ourselves, and I believe it'll be interesting to anyone who would listen. So, but for
I'd like to be serious when I'm making my comments, though, in regards to this, even though I'm laughing a lot or enjoying the conversation, because some of the statements are being made just, I'm tended to believe just to lighten the discussion, right? And not to get personal. But if we are going to discuss the issue of a God,
make somebody else talk.
Something like those, I mean.
Yes, but you said the same thing over and over, man.
Okay.
Mr. Chair,
I mean,
I identify with the conversation because remember we start with Christmas, and I am basically saying, regardless of which God you worship, or if you worship none, when you do goodness and it benefit humanity, that is what counts. And to me, this Yuletide season is a time of giving. It is a time of love, and it is a time of joy and sharing.
Service.
And so this is deeply embedded in the Belizean culture, and I think it's a blessing for this nation.
Yeah. And it's also a time of renewal. It gives
mostly so, Mr. Morris.
This is what the chairman said.
On the 21st of December, in the winter solstice, the sun is reborn, and the days stop getting longer and start getting shorter. And I think that is really what we should be celebrating, because the story of Jesus being born in Bethlehem and out in a night like that, and the shepherds, when it's supposed to be really cold and frozen, then it does. There's a lot of holes in that story. But the hole is not in the story, is that the sun rises every day. And it's interesting coincidence that sun also is pronounced and spelled almost the same way as sun.
S-U-N and S-O-N.
So but they have made the sun into a man, because we as human beings cannot relate to things that we can't understand. We have to put it in
which is what our problem
that
is.
we can understand. So we have put it in the form of a man, and we make him rise on the third day, when in fact the sun rises every day. And if you want to talk about the light of the world,
rise. The sun is right there fixed.
But but then that one inverted way of putting it.
But we use that as a concept because our brain doesn't quite understand that it swings around, right? We're spinning around.
And you can't understand how it happens anyway, because in a 24-hour span, you flip right around, you hang upside down for a certain way and don't even know it. Another drop has come out of the ocean and drop out. It rains down instead of out. So
that's the amazing part to me. But you know what? I have a poem, and I want to take 2 minutes to read it. The Multiverse. They say that there is where our quintessential dreams comes true. Fate will not elude, and love is true. They say that matters is dark, and there rests a chance it was stolen. They say these things because elements of it for long has been known to be true. They say on the fourth round things was different, that the sun was jealous of Jezreel filled with seas. They say that fate was strong, and that the waves were cursed, and that the seas came dry. They say that life beamed there. Carbon of a different kind, not you nor I. They say that the split ensures that yet another chance for you and for me. They say that Oprah pointedly called on thee and informed of thee, one unto the other. They say that things are different now, even if just a little bit for you and for me. I said that poem because we were talking about the multiverse and the opportunity of what existence is and God and all that. And I do believe that there is a creator of the universe. It is just too precise to have been so coincidental in everything. And that there are many universes, multiverses instead, in fact, and that this is not the first time that there was a big bang and that there was a creation, and that after this one end, there'll be another one. Who is guiding it? I don't know. Is there other intelligent life out there? I don't know. Maybe we are the lucky ones, and maybe there's nothing else to be found out there with all the opportunity for other existence. That's the point.
That's why I partly agree with you. I think, and even if there's something else out there, the sun is at the center of everything. Because listen, hold on, no laugh.
The statement should be retracted before you go any further, sir.
Why? But let me explain it.
You're misinforming.
Well, can I explain why I said that?
Please.
We go around. Is it a proven fact that we revolve around the sun?
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yes,
and at any point, is the sun on inside and everything else is outside? Is that not true?
Our sun and solar system is only one little speck in a universe. In a universe that has many other multiverses.
How you know that? How do you know that?
Oh man.
Yes, oh man.
Sir, I can't go and teach an ABC class and hope that the person that I'm teaching the ABC to will have the same capacity and understanding that I do.
It's a simple question. We're not the word, but what kind of understanding you have? How do you know that? Tell me plain and straight. How do you know that?
Well, in defense of Mr.
Make Mr.
defense
Mabit
of
take
Mr.
over.
Brackett,
You're always in defense of Mr. Brockett. But go ahead.
in
Go ahead.
defense of Mr. Brackett, I listened to Gregory, and I think that he mentioned the fact that there could have been many big bangs, and maybe there could, but as far as we know, the evidence that we have is basically saying that for certain there has been one big bang that we know of. So I would not dispute that there wouldn't be many, but until we have the evidence, then it is just speculation. All right. In relation to where we are with the Earth, and when I say I come to Mr. Brackett's defense, basically the sun that like Wali mid-size star.
Grain of sun. Only mid-size grain of sun.
And when you look at the universe,
Oh,
for
you must be
example,
crazy.
our scheme of things in the universe, you know how far we are? We have put a spacecraft in orbit. We have put a spacecraft in orbit, G Mike.
And done what?
And
what?
That spacecraft is 3 billion miles away.
Vanity of vanities.
And-
How do
and
you know that
wait
even
a minute,
exists?
why you
How do you
interrupt?
know? You're
Wait a
taking
minute.
their word for it.
No.
You know,
This
you are
spacecraft
not
is-
on. You would have to be on that to be sure.
You know you're a heckler. You are a heckler, G Mike.
Mr. Chairman,
I am saying,
Mr. Chairman, you throw
Mr. Chair.
tantrums like a little kid that
That
just born
spacecraft has
yesterday, man.
snapped a
You
picture
know,
of
learn and
the
know
Earth.
nothing yet about what the man tries to
You
give
know
the man
how
and
You
far-
do.
let the
you
man
know how
speak
far we
though.
are?
Could you let the man
Wait, come on,
speak?
let me make this
I
point
want
and
to
then
hear
let
you,
me
but the
heckle.
man, I can't
Let me
listen
make
to
this
you.
point and then you heckle.
Yes, I can listen. I hear this heckling.
We
You
have
don't say
only
nothing.
traveled. We have only traveled 1.5 light second. You know how big the universe that we know of? It's 2 billion light years.
And what does it
You
matter?
did-
You know
that
the only thing
matters-
matter to you that you.
You know what? You know what matters about that? That we are only a speck.
No,
in
but
a
no,
black
it
hole
doesn't
from that
matter.
you cannot
But it
even
doesn't matter.
conceptualize. It
The
matters.
only thing matters is you and
Because
your
you think you're
world, how you
special.
live your life. That's all that matters.
You think
That's
that
all
you
that matters.
You think that you're special. You think that this earth is special. This earth
No,
is not
you
special.
think you are. You're the one that thinks you made all of this. We know that we didn't.
Where do you get this from?
That's what you said. You
I
said that.
said that I make the universe.
You said there's no God, so it must be you.
No, I said that the God that you think exists
Oh, man.
You know, let me
is not. There's no reality to
but
that.
you
God
don't know
is
that.
behind the cloud.
You can't prove
know
that.
that.
You can't prove that, and you don't know what God I think exists. You don't know. Hold on.
Prove it.
Hold on. May I share a theory? Let me share a theory. You see this
Alright.
Big Bang that one on the talk about so much?
Yes, sir. Yes,
It
sir.
is when the egg met the sperm. And that's how and create a life. That is the biggest bang and you will ever hear. It's so loud you can't. But wait, I let you. But why won't you let me speak? Why won't you let
Sorry,
me
sir.
speak?
Sorry,
The
sir.
Big Bang is then when life was created. A
No.
louder bang than that you're not gonna ever hear.
No, sir.
Hold on, and that
Big Bang
the
has nothing to like
evolution.
say.
But
Based on life,
Mr.
Mr.
Man, hold up. You're rude, man.
It's
No,
not
you
being
really.
rude.
Go ahead. You
We have to
speak.
be factual.
You have
We
it.
have
You
to
have
be
it.
factual, sir. There's a thing that they call okay. So I'm trying to say to you that you're making a misstatement, and either you know that you're doing or you don't know. And if you don't know, then you need to be corrected. And if I'm pointing out that you're
From
making
who?
an error,
By who? By who?
I'm
And
trying to explain to you that.
how do you know that you have
Sir.
the correct way to correct me?
No,
How
no,
do
no.
you know?
I'm trying. Okay,
You're going by
the
some
Big
books that you
Bang
read.
theory, the Big Bang theory
Uh-huh.
that you have heard about so much
No. But
has
I'm not.
nothing to do
But I didn't
with
say
the
that.
creation of
I
human
did.
beings.
I
Don't
did not.
conflate.
I
Don't
did
mix
not.
things up.
Hold up. I did not say let me tell you what the Big Bang theory is. I said let me give you a theory. That's what I
Oh,
said.
okay.
Can you understand that? And
Okay,
appreciate that?
you're
I
entitled
have
to your
that theory.
opinion.
I don't
That's a
think that
theory, right?
that theory
You're
that you
entitled to
guys
that, sir. I
but
take on
just
my
shut
previous
up,
comment.
no man. Shut up then. If I'm entitled to it, let me be entitled to it. But don't keep on and say you're entitled to it. You're ridiculous, man. Anyway, listen, talk about something else. I'm good. I'm good. This is not it's not even worth it.
Mr. Chairman,
Uh-huh.
Mr. Chairman, your blood pressure they go up, sir.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
And
I'm good.
I just want to make a statement that they say do not discuss religion
And
or
politics.
and now I am adding science.
May I say something? May I say something?
Science among friends.
May I say something while you say that? Those are the two things that you should discuss, because how one rules the body, one rules the spiritual side of you. Why should you not discuss that? Because only through argument can you come to within a shouting distance of the truth. You need to discuss these things.
With me.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not quarreling. You don't take my tone of voice and turn it into something else. That's all right. If I am saying I have a theory and you have your theory, but you want me to believe that your theory is fact and mine is foolish, and I'm not going to accept that.
Chairman, you see, you gone there, you go again. But as you said, let me move on.
But George, I wanted to say something. Scientists are moving to the realization that there have been multiple Big Bang, and I think pretty soon that will become part of the standard reading. Whether they could prove it or how they prove it, I'm not sure. But that is some scientific findings that's kind of looking into that possibility.
I won't disagree with you, and I think Mr. Brackett kind of alluded to that we're not talking about universe, we're talking about multiverse. And it's really in the theoretical stage. And until we have evidence, you know what evidence we have that the Big Bang took place? There's a background radiation, cosmic radiation that we have.
Yes, and they have found that there are echoes.
And when we measure the magnitude of that radiation, we have come to the conclusion that this came from one source. And that source happened 13.8 billion years ago.
You know what Gregory said? Gregory said that they haven't proven it yet, but they're moving towards it. All they have to do is convince enough people, and that is going to be the proof that you're going to need. Convincing people. And they have that's how it works. That is exactly how it works. That's how it works.
No, sir.
Yeah, okay.
Mr. Brackett, can you repeat what you said to Mr. Mike? That is not how science works, Mr. Mike. You have a misinterpretation of what science is.
I'll tell you there are lots of science, and there are lots of ways of how science is usually what the community start believing, and then they start writing books and pretty much
no,
Mr.
Morris.
No, that's not that's
not how science works. Science is a process of discovery. And it's
a process of discovery.
You see what Mr. G. Mike said? Mr. G. Mike said that when it rains, the rain not go up. Why not go up? Because there's a force called gravity. And that gravity is seeking to pull the rain towards the center of the earth. Why doesn't the rain go to the center of the earth? It can't go to the center of the earth because there's a crust. And it hit the crust. And in that crust, there's a mantle. And in that mantle, there's a core. You see, so it's not science, it's not arbitrary, it's not what you want to believe, it's not consensus. You guys will know that perhaps 2 decades ago, we said coconut oil not good for you.
Yeah, then tell you hard in your body, just like how it hard in the bottle when you left it by the fridge.
and it's not a lie, but what we have found out is that there's not one cholesterol. There's the long chain cholesterol and the short chain cholesterol.
Mm-hmm.
You see? And it is the short chain cholesterol that forms plaque in your arteries.
But don't you think they knew this a long time ago and they were just trying to take us away and sell us corn oil? They knew this.
There's a commercial side to that. I'm just saying the science of it. The science of it. Science continues to ask questions. So something that we said yesterday might not be the same in 20 years. Because there will be new evidence.
We won't believe the same.
And that was my point. That was my point. There'll be new evidence, and then the consensus they'll start writing books and saying this is the new thing, and that's what's going to happen.
Without showing you the evidence. They don't have to show the evidence. They just say it and you believe it.
No. You have something that you call peer review, Mr. Mike. Peer review.
Which more than one person doing it. More than one person believing it.
No,
that's all it is. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's the same as religion. Science is the same as religion, just another religion.
No.
You come up with things and you put some facts together or
Mr. Marriott, Mr. Marriott, the chairman is generally correct, but not in specificity. But the concept that he's conveying is generally correct, and that is that
it evolves.
Every so often, the science and the scientists gets together, and based on the new or latest discovery or observations or recorded information, they arrive at consensuses, and even among themselves, the scientists, they're always doing battle with each other and putting down each other or debunking each other's theories, concepts, axioms, and all these different things. The bottom line is that human beings, as much as we want to believe, well, I shouldn't say we, as much as some human beings want to believe that human beings are the only sentient entities or the highest level of sentient knowledge in this man-made construct of time, distance, and the knowledge about the troposphere, the atmosphere, all these different low-level type scientific factors. We want to believe or have the impression, or someone to believe or have the impression that there's no other more powerful or more sentient entities out there. And anybody who truly believes in science cannot accept that as a reality. And that is where science conflicts with itself and conflicts.
Conflict with itself?
Yes.
No. The way science
Please go ahead.
is it poses certain questions. For example, what is it that makes G. Mike angry whenever there's
Yeah, make the man feel personal, man. You try yourself to establish a point.
And so, no, I'm not.
Make it a general statement.
I am saying that what a scientist would do
would
be to say that is G. Mike just a miserable guy, or does G. Mike has information that he hasn't divulged, or is it that G. Mike just not like George Mivett?
No. The basis of his analytical ability and his observation.
Is there an all of the above option?
Well, that we would have to investigate, because maybe you are in denial. You're in denial that you're your one worst enemy, so we'd have to investigate that. But I'm not being facetious, but science is really a process of hypothesizing, testing, concluding, and re-examining.
So it's philosophy.
No, it's not.
Only because this one is on a different level. That's you're going on material things, what you can see and touch.
No,
Philosophy goes with what you can imagine, what you can prove.
Well, that's what creates science. That's what allows. That's the parameter of how science comes about. People thinking about things and trying to imagine and figure out how is it that it operates, or what makes it be what it is, and that's the basis of science.
So it begins with philosophy.
Exactly.
Does Mivett
For
believe
human beings, it had to begin with philosophy.
It begins with certain questions. So, for example, there might be a philosophical concept, Mr. Chairman, that when you look at the heavens, the philosophical context was that the planets were gods. They were Zeus, and they were Jupiter, etc. That is philosophical, because people did not have information. The telescope was not invented until 1600s. And so what we have done...
Let me ask you a question. Universally, throughout the universe, is 2 and 2 always equal to 4?
Well, if you're adding, it's always equal to 4, as far as I know.
No matter where in the universe you are.
As far as I know.
Okay.
Which is not necessarily true when you deal with the factors. Remember, no, we're talking about human construct. We have to keep things in context and keep remembering. This is a discussion that we are having.
But my point is that we're using all these factors to prove science and to prove the reality of whatever exists already. So is it just all reality that's making these things work, or is there something more going on?
We have nothing to do with it.
That's why I said we human beings haven't put 1 ounce of our brain power to bring about or the existence of any of those things that are out there. As a matter of fact, we didn't put too much brain power into bringing about very little of what is on the face of the earth, or this earth that we are living on.
We are on the observers.
We created it for ourselves.
But why do you keep going, man? Why do you keep going?
It's like somebody flew a plane into the Twin Towers, and then we came 50 years afterwards, and we have seen it, and then we started to put it together, and we are saying that based on the mass of material, this could have been a tower that was 2,000 feet tall, and for this tower to have come down, it needed to have been hit by a force of 10 million newtons. You know, that's the whole science world. So we are after this Big Bang accident, and we are trying to put the pieces together. We do not have all the answers.
Yeah, you know what I think though, that we can't even figure ourselves out, and we want to figure out the universe, and then not only the universe, but we want to go beyond to other universes. Please, we need
that, Mr. Chairman.
We just need to get our own lives together and realize, and we come right back to what you started out with, George Mivit, is to say that you need just peace and contentment within yourself. Now, we can run around all we want to try to find answers to questions we haven't even asked yet, but there's so much right within ourselves that we need to come to grips with and work on. There's so much improvement. We can't fix ourselves. How the hell are we going to fix the world?
Much less the universe.
Just much less the universe and other universes on top of that.
There's this
but that doesn't make them not exist.
There's this existential.
How they came about, and for what purpose are they out there? And how come we can't enjoy other than just the ability to just look and see them?
Very good, Mr. Brackett.
Everything
Mr. Brackett must have travel to them.
Everything.
Yeah.
You and I had this discussion before, Mr. Gregory.
I want to hear you disagree with this man one time. One time. I want to hear you disagree with this man.
Mr. Chair.
The man that talk on fool sometimes you say very good point, Mr. Mike, very good point. And I'm like, duh. Anyway, go ahead. I'm all right. I'm listening. I'm trying to learn. I'm just a squirrel trying to get a nut. Well, here you go. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chair, listen. I realize that Mr. Brackett is a very widely read man.
True.
I
agree.
He's a man of figures, and when he speaks, it's not kind of idle chatter. You know, and even though
sometimes I do.
Sir, you accusing me and the chairman of idle chatter?
No,
exactly.
No.
Only Mivit make fence on this, Gregory.
No. I am not ruling anything in, and I am not ruling anything out. I am just saying, based on the deliveries that Mr. Brackett is making.
Right.
I know that he's a man that is informed on various levels because I don't know him as a scientist. But Einstein basically said, "I know who can a smart answer, you know. That basically who asked the right questions." Yeah. And I see Mr. Brackett basically talking about multiverse and things that are really deep science.
But he's giving answers. He's not asking questions.
For that.
He's not asking questions. He's giving answers.
No. But he couldn't be talking about multiverse if there were not questions in his mind to question the purpose of life and the reality that we are encountering.
We're all doing that. That's what we're all doing, actually. Aren't we?
I write books. I write books that contain these subject matters, sir, which is where the basis of my input comes from.
Oh, so you
I write books on the basis of these subjects.
You basically quote yourself.
Very good.
Oh man.
No, that's what you're doing. You write books and the information that you write in the books. What do you? Pull up.
Sir, I didn't borrow knowing what I have learned.
You write books and then you use the stuff you write in the books as basis of your arguments. That's what you're saying.
That's what you're trying to imply.
All right.
I'm so far above and beyond what you're talking about that what you're saying doesn't play one iota in terms of reality of what I'm talking about.
See why it's throwing a hint. Throw up the flyer again. See why I'm gonna talk about that. Leave it because we really I need you guys to share it by your page, my man. You know what I mean? Because we really,
I put it on my page.
thank you.
I put them up on my page. I always do.
Yeah, this is something that yeah, an experiment, if you will, that I think is proven to be successful. I mean, it's working. If you talk to people in our neighborhood right now, they will tell you, boy, this neighborhood is a much better place. We had this park here going for that 2016, going for 7 years now, and we've had no negative incidents. Yeah, we have kids. Well, it's not too long in the wider scheme of things, but it's
yeah. But I remember when you started. Good.
Yeah, because it has been a while. It was 2016 when I came back from one of my I think it was my last major operation, and I felt, boy, there's a purpose for me here. I should be doing something meaningful. And I looked, and this is, and just it was like a revelation. Then I'm not going to say I came up with this, and I didn't do any of it. I just sat aside and watched it happen. And now I hear people in the park as we speak, enjoying the park. So I think that's something that has put a needed component to the community, and I'd like to see it emulated in other areas. And in fact, I got a park right now on George Street, actually, George, on Rocky Road, which are the depth of the troubled area there. And that a guy from New York, is his place, and I was cleaning it up and keeping it for him, maintaining it. But he doesn't want to live there, but he wants to return to Belize. And I went to see the minister because I said, listen, here's a piece of land. I'd like to put a park here. You know, it costs the city nothing, just like this one and give not. Just give me the go ahead. I'll go ahead. I'll solicit the funds, and people will say, boy, G. Mike, you always beg. But I'm always begging for something that will help the next generation. We need to do something. And I think there are a lot of people who want to help when they see something that's worthwhile happening. So, and we... The neighborhood is better for it, and really, I would like to see more of these. There are lots of people who have retired, like yourself, George. What area are you from?
I did a Balama phase 2, G Mike.
Well, I'm sure you got a lot of young people around there, whatnot, ready for doing get together. And you being an educator yourself, I hope you're not teaching all the thing where they try to teach we on the show. No, but really, I think education should teach children how to think and not what to think. I really think that. I think
they should be taught both.
Well, G Mike, I think that we are blessed in various ways. I see you as a doer. Well, I think that one of the things that I see in people who have returned from the United States is that if when you're left, you used to just hang out on Albert Street and, kind of just shoot the breeze. When you come back with a new perspective. You come back kind of business-oriented or results-oriented. That's my own analysis, and I think that it's really
because you have seen possibilities.
Not true, Mr. Morrison?
Yeah. You have seen what's possible. You have seen what's possible.
Yeah. And I love G Mike for this because it's kind of easy if you just kind of sit down and this is a place I've done, man. When I'm a small man, I never like this, but he has done something about it. Without any political really support, in the sense of no politician they hold a hand.
Right.
He came in and he saw a need and he saw opportunities.
And I see young people, young kids flocking to that park and making it a home and a place they have. I think you said you were doing like a little study for where they could do computer works and things like that. We
COVID, of course, put a little mash up on that, and we're hoping to get back to where we were. But we have a library and whatnot. The youngsters still come in and whatnot. I try to get them to read. It's like pulling teeth. It's not easy. But you were talking about the traveling and whatnot. And I was reading something somewhere where it says life is a book, but when you don't travel, you only read in one page. When you travel, you can turn the page and see models of other things that works. Right. I remember in New York when I think it was a police commissioner that came in with a broken glass theory, and they did an
Yeah.
experiment with the two cars that
I
they
know
put,
them too.
and it's interesting, and that's why, and from that I have modeled where if anything goes wrong in the park, which is why right now I'm trying to get these fences up and fixed and things back in order, is that once you fix it, then
You
I
close
think
it
it's a
off.
lesson to the children growing up that you don't just leave things, because
Right.
many of us do that. You walk around in Belize and see the derelict homes and whatnot. And
Hmm.
what pains my heart is when I see an old lady that tries struggle down a step, knowing how dangerous that is, and then I see 3, 4 young, healthy but young boy run up and down that step for go get the food that the old lady gonna hustle for cook up, and not even get a hammer and nail and try to fix that up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there are aspects here that I'm trying to look at,
Model for them. Yeah.
and yeah, I'm trying to get and talk it into them as much as I can. No,
Yeah.
every chance I get, that my learning experience and our teachable moment, if you will. So that's it. And folks, the flyer is up there. It'll be on Sunday, December the 18th, and we're gonna do it live. So I'm gonna make sure this time the guy do it on my page so that anybody could log on and partake of some of the activities, no? And I did like a little telethon where during the time I'm hoping that people will also be we got a bunch of things we need to do to improve the whole experiment, if you will, that we're doing here. So
Okay.
and I listen, I got one little monthly stipend to come in every month. Not from the PUP, George, but from uh, but so I'm covered, and my bills are paid. I can eat, and that's it. I'm not greedy. I don't want no lot of money, and even the foundation.
The more you get, the more you could do.
No, yeah, but that I know that my excuse. The,
The needs are always greater than what
the,
any one person or you or could.
the foundation, even I don't foresee having a bank account with a lot of money in there. You could do, but at the end of the day, it also opens temptation, and you have to be careful with that. What I'd like to do is see things happening, and like we promote sporting games, whatnot. And I find that you have to give a little incentive to the children to get them to sit down long enough to listen to you. But the bottom
Mm-hmm.
line is to make them listen and
Right.
and
Right.
get the message across. Anyway, gentlemen, um, any discussion and anything else about God, Mivit?
Well, what I want to say, gentlemen, and whoever they're listening, is that sometimes these shows are not kind of scripted in the sense that we don't have an agenda, and it's just kind of spontaneous combustion. And that is what tonight's show was mainly about. We never know that we'll be delving into science and
Religion.
perspective and these existential issues of life, but we did. And although it may have gotten a bit loud, I think that there was a fair amount of information and perspectives um, that could have been useful to somebody. So again, I think that it has definitely been worthwhile. I am hoping Mr. Chair,
Judge, hold on 1 second, Judge. See why you're coming in here. There's something there. See why? See why? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
I think we're
yeah,
good
yeah,
now.
All right, good.
yeah,
Yeah,
Mr.
go
Chair.
ahead, Judge.
There's only one more Sunday after this before we hit Christmas.
Okay.
And so next week, Wednesday, I'm suggesting that we have some kind of Christmas oriented.
Oh, I thought that was
we could
today,
talk
talking about Jesus and God.
no. We could talk about the culture of Christmas
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
and how going way back how it happened and how it compare to other places. So
How
the
it
Christmas
evolved,
in Jamaica is not what it is in Belize.
how it
Mhm.
evolved, the evolution
Yeah,
of it.
yeah. I just want to end on a good note before Christmas and perhaps a joyous note, I should say.
Oh,
You
you
know.
think Leonard not gonna mess it up?
Oh, you asking for trouble, Leonard? Give me a
Yes.
break. Give me a break. Easy, Leonard. Easy. Hold up, Leonard. Hold
My
up.
turn.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
Well,
after the man whap you in your head like that, you have to respond.
I
You're ready.
mean, the man know what me, the man to tell the truth. Every once in a while, you got to learn how to take the truth, you know, and do the best. You see, my way of dealing with the truth there, right, is that in every good there is some bad, and in every bad there is some good. My trick is to take the good out of the bad and dispense with the bad and make use of the good. That's how I
Okay.
roll.
Okay. Accentuate the
So
positive and the what?
make the best of the situation.
Which I disagree with, by the way. I don't think you eliminate the negative, but you use it to your advantage.
No,
Because
no, 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 no. I try
okay,
not to dwell on the negative. I try to,
but
as much as most
I
people
didn't say, I did
tend to
not
believe
say
that
that.
that's
I,
really what I do.
but see, I did not say to dwell on the negative. That would be ridiculous. No, you don't dwell on it. Accentuate the positive, but you utilize the negative. You like if you remove a refrigerant too heavy for you, you lean it and make it weight help you to move it. That's what I'm saying. But you can't eliminate
When
the
you lead it
negative.
and then you can't bring it back, then, then the whole
Some
thing
people
go
say
over.
scientist, Mr. Chairman.
Sir, sir. Uh, the boy, the man, yes, the man, he throw stone and run gun. That mischievous
I
fellow.
think the man
So
want to
the
drop
man,
the refrige for win.
Yes, yeah. He want to argue that the fridge no move. You know what? The fridge go open, and if it's full of beer, that's all he want to know. Uh, and it's Christmas. You deserve a cool one. You deserve a cool one. Um, but really, guys, we're gonna do Christmas next week indeed, because we got one more Wednesday before Christmas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Wednesday. What day Christmas fall upon?
I
I
think
think
it's a
it's Sunday.
Sunday.
Isn't it Sunday, they say?
Yeah, I think it's
I
a
think
Sunday.
it's Sunday, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, because seven days from the 18th will be 25th indeed. So
Yeah.
that's good. So we'll be next week Wednesday. I hope you guys are gonna be present. We could do this one more time before Christmas. And after that, are we gonna do one between Christmas and New Year's, or are we gonna go straight to the New Year? What we gonna do? We take
the
off and
beginning
go.
of the New Year, or you take vacation.
No, we're
I
bringing
say
the
we go
New
to the
Year.
New Year, Mr. Chair,
We,
after
we,
Wednesday.
all
We take a
right.
week break and then we come back after the New Year.
You will.
Okay.
How do we have? We need a majority here, a consensus. Uh, eh,
It's fine with me. It's fine with me to take a
either
break.
way. All right. Leonard, I guess so. No.
So I won't be the only one where I go the opposite direction
Why?
as usual.
I tell you what.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just trying to
If
be
you're
funny.
the only one that I will listen. I just want to say I know my say nothing. I want to hear. I want to hear that show there.
Yeah, but but that being the case, we shouldn't touch any esoteric subject, you know. Otherwise, we have to set down parameters. But I was just kidding, Mr. Chairman.
No. I'm writing. Esoteric. How you spell that again? ESOTE. What?
I have no
Anyway,
idea, sir.
let's go. Listen, Georgie. Look into the nets, man, because in
Yes,
fact,
yes.
you know what? I garnered 2 days in a row, gonna try see this boy Quintana. He, of course, again is in a meeting. 2 days. I don't see how a man could sit down in a meeting 2 days. I'm saying we are to be the most efficient country in the world, as many meetings as we have. Everybody's always in a meeting. So, but then
we
still,
have a meeting, forgot another meeting.
because we're not efficient, we don't get things done. So obviously we need to stop meeting and start doing things, making ourselves available to people who come in. And something like this is ridiculous, man, that I can't go there. They ban gillnet, then they take the gillnet, so they gonna take away all the gillnet where the fisherman they had and have it stored in a place, but then can't give it because nobody has the authority to give it. Therefore government, so fisheries can't touch it. The fisheries have to deal with it, so government can't touch it. What do? You know the only way I get that to go to a minister directly? Who's the minister of the natural resources? Fisheries
No,
comes under what?
it's
Cordell.
blue economy.
Blue economy.
Blue economy.
And who is that? That's what?
That's the guy from San Pedro. I forget where in here, G Mike.
Arceo?
No. That party. No.
Different
She's
name.
no more. What the guy from Blue Economy name, man?
That's Julius Espat.
No, he's Belmopan. Julius Belmopan.
No, but Blue Economy
I
is
can't
not
remember
a constituency. That's a ministry. So
Yeah, Blue Economy.
it could be anybody.
Blue Economy.
I don't know who in commander because
Julius
that's the
infrastructure.
only way the funny, the only way you could get something done is to go to the top, and when you go to the top, everybody at bottom begs. But they can't help you when you go to them. You see what I'm saying? We're not buying, man. And again, I don't like to complain. I try to make things work.
But the thing should be made available to you, sir, because
I would think
so could get some use out of it. Because then ban the thing and then confiscate it. When I left it out, they make it dry rat for when somebody could make it.
I tell them today, it was serving a bad purpose. It was serving a bad purpose. Now I'm trying to put it to a good purpose. How would you fight that? Why would you resist that?
I'll tell you the who right now. Hold on, G, Mike.
Yeah.
Not go after our final right now.
Well, we can't go till you say go, no?
Right now, G, Mike. Minister.
It was nice of you guys to stop by again this evening. Lively discussion. I swear, I come away with if not a different point of view, certainly a reinforced point of view from my side. I cannot hear nothing where I believe in it. I'm hoping that you guys will go away converted and more in tune. No? Evolution again is a baby.
I was hoping to convert you, Mr. Chairman, but you're not giving me a chance.
A baby. Evolution is a baby to a man.
Pierce, G. Mike, Minister Pierce. My name Pierce.
Pierce, where first name?
Right now, make a see for
Pierce.
Yeah.
And he's in San Pedro?
Yeah, that's where he come from.
Well, maybe I need to go.
But you know, then I have them upon even the CEO, Kennedy, she named Kennedy something.
Or is it from Orange Walk?
No,
Orange Walk Kenyans have been kind of like getting a preference here in this administration. No? You know, find that.
That he run against Heredia at San Pedro, man. That he beat Heredia.
No, man, they're not. I'm thinking Arceo.
No, Arceo is from Hamburger's Key. I think the young man that we're talking about was from Kikaka, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think so. That he beat the UDP boy there. Manuel Heredia.
Junior Heredia. Again though, I've been 2 days at Fisheries. I have not been able to see anybody except the secretary. I'm going back again tomorrow. If you have an opportunity to get it, because I tried to see what happened. We have the park and one side of the park, the swamp. Nothing but, and the balls that go in there, they can't get it because there's a lot of water. I want to put up one side of my fence to a certain height. I'd like to put up a net over the. In fact, I went to Kikaka when we had a game out there, and it works well. And when the guys kick the ball hard or high, then the net stops it from going out. You see. So if I could put a net behind the goal, then that would be like a backstop. So the ball don't go. Every time you go on, you have to get a new ball, no? So I think a worthwhile thing.
All right, G. Mike. The guy Omar Arceo, is the public relations officer.
Okay.
So there's an Arceo in there. But
for the same blue economy, right?
Yeah, he's public relations.
I think the party brother, no?
I think so. I believe so.
Yeah. Well, I have to try go higher than I've been going, man, because nothing at the lower rung can't seem to do anything for me, no?
Yeah, tomorrow Thursday already, G Mike. So
this is where to say, and 2 days.
I want to try call Rigoberto.
Okay.
Yeah, but we actually have commission meeting tomorrow. I'm happy to report to my brother. Leonard, that the constitutional reform is going great guns, and tomorrow we're meeting again.
Are they listening to you?
To basically set a schedule, a work plan. So
when you guys meet, do you meet in a working group or all the members of the commission meets?
All the members of the commission. We got sworn in this morning.
Oh, I thought you got sworn in a couple of weeks ago.
That was more ceremonial.
What did you have for lunch? What did you have for lunch?
White rice and beans.
So everybody ate well.
Rice and beans. Then you
Because
know, but
I don't want to just go meet and have lunch, because at this point you've had two meetings, two swearing in. Nothing has been discussed yet in the meetings. Nothing, not even one.
Well,
Nobody has asked.
You were talking about meeting and meeting and meeting.
Meeting is somewhere to say.
At the end of the day, the eyes will have it,
So the
regardless
first,
of what discussions occur.
the first meeting was a ceremonial swearing in. The second meeting was a official swearing in. The third meeting was a what happening? No.
we had a cocktail. We had
Yeah,
a
but
cocktail at the first meeting.
they're not going to have working group until after a while,
You had a cocktail. What kind of budget are the members of this group getting money? Any stipend or pay or so?
They should be getting a little stipend for gas or whatever.
Actually, on a serious note,
The commission.
You get travel. So
Yeah.
the committee seemed to be, and not quote me, but it's not less than 40 strong. And many of the people are from our district, Belmopan, etc. So when they travel, they get for claim mileage and subsistence.
And if you're from Belize City, can you also claim it?
No. Unless there's some other place, and then you need to go there.
All right, I'm just. But thanks for the free
But,
flow of
but
information.
you know why I mention it? Because on a serious note, being on the commission gives us an opportunity to table things that would be of interest to you, G Mike. So, for example, if there's something that you feel should be inputted into the Constitution, and then you could pass it to any of the commissioners.
But weren't there going to be a public part for input where just someone could write something and send it to the
Yes, there is that.
Okay.
There is that. It's only just starting. Essentially, it's a 2-year process.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only just starting. So there'll be detailed public consultations.
How often will you guys meet as a group?
We're not decided that yet. That's a part of what we'll be doing with the work plan.
Are you going to break it down into
tomorrow?
Gregory is suggesting groups?
Working groups, yeah.
We should be having working groups. One of the things that came to us loud and clear today was that you if you carry the Constitution to people and say, "Well, I want to fix it," it's not going to happen because most people are not acquainted with the Constitution. When you go to them, you have to break it down into common language, and you have to break it down into thematic areas. But I don't really want to get into that. It's just like I know what it close off the meeting, and I just kind of threw in a
Yeah, I hope it winds up something good. I hope something comes from it, and it's not just an exercise in futility, as we've gone through so many times before.
Yeah.
It just many times a waste of time, a waste of money, and a waste of hope, because we hope for, and then we get let down, and then we go again, and it just adds to the despair and disenchantment that people have with the government. Because and in fact I always thought that Dean Barrow had an excellent opportunity to do a lot of good, but turned out to be a lot of bad. He could have gone down as the best prime minister ever, including George Price. Had he
with you, Mr. Chairman, but that one.
Dean Barrow was a brilliant man, and is a brilliant man, make no mistake. He just did not use that brilliance for the good of the country. If he had, he had more. Well, he was in the footsteps of George Price, so he could have built upon all the legacy of George.
Yeah.
You know how I feel about.
I agree.
He could have been much better than he was.
Yeah.
So
that's what I'm saying. It was a failed
experiment.
It's a squandered opportunity.
Yes.
You will never have that opportunity again.
Yeah,
Very well.
He had 3 terms. He had a young country. When he got in power, the crime wasn't the way it was.
Didn't he have a super majority at one point too?
Yes, he did. He did.
Yeah.
The first election.
Yeah, when they first won, I think the UP's only got in about 3 people.
Yeah.
Or something like that. But Leonard would have that kind of stats.
And they should have lost that election had it not been for Penary Sell Island passports and votes to people, and they narrowly won that also. Had
Mm-hmm.
it
Yeah.
not been for Cordell and Marcus Pat
Marcus, but yeah,
Jump,
and,
jump
and,
they
in.
and
would have
Anthony
lost.
Marla, who
They would have lost.
they would have
Yeah,
lost.
yeah,
And I bet Mark now has many sleepless nights knowing that he could have been prime minister had he not made that move. But I
yeah.
guess it was lucratively beneficial to him, no?
Of
So
course, he became the Blue Bond King, right?
hmm.
Yes, he's
Before
a
before it
local
was Blue
star.
Bond. Before it was
People call
Blue
him a
Bond, he was the king
star.
of it, getting paid $500,000 a year.
Isn't that something? I can't know. I don't know how I'd spend that money without drugs. Serious. I mean, boy, it's anyway, gentlemen. It's after 9. I want to thank you guys for your participation once again. Thank you for again allowing me to sit in this chairman's seat that you have pushed me onto. Um, and I think that the discussion has been lively, and we should have all come away with, if not more knowledge, then more interest in the matters discussed.
Thank you. Good evening to all.
Good evening, all, and
Good evening, Mr.
we
Chairman. Good
see you.
evening, brothers.
Try to make
God
it
bless
early
you
next
guys
week.
and
Make it
seasoned
a good
greetings
one.
to everybody.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What
Good
happened
evening,
is
Mr. Young, and keep up the good
since
work.
they
I'll be in touch
changed
with
it,
you, sir.
yeah, since they changed it to 5 o'clock because of we have Pacific time and daylight saving time, it kind of
Okay.
messed me up sometimes.
Yeah, I understand. Uh, anyway, CY, you want to say something before we go?
Yes, King.
Yeah, man. God is strong.
Bless up, man.
Every time. I
Hey,
know
let me take Chris.
CY got that
All
one
right,
new
Gio.
single. CY
All
got
right,
that one
Mr.
new
I
G.
saw
single.
that.
All right,
I saw
Mr.
that.
Leonard.
Okay,
Yeah.
sir. I'll be in touch.
All
CY.
right. Respect everybody. And
Oh, yeah, I think
Greg.
I sent it to them guys. I sent it to them.
Yeah. Yeah, not bad. Good actually. Greg,
Yes, sir.
remember to get in touch with
Yeah, with
with
Vanessa.
Vanessa for me, right?
Yes, I
Thanks,
will.
bro.
Yeah.
I hear it for something like I did done you, right?
No, 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 no. It's my intent to, and I'll take care of it this week.
Thank you very much. You need all the help we can get, man, and we really want to do some good things in this neighborhood.
Okay. Thank
Gentlemen,
you.
good
Seasoned
evening.
greetings to all, sir.
Respect every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.